질문 나올 거예요.
글쎄요.
민지 안 보여.
누가 색깔이야? 뭘 이렇게 뽑은 거 같아?
내 노트 왜
돈이야?
실종됐어?
진짜 좋은 내 건데.
가는 건가요, 지금?
뭐야 좀.
근데 뭐 끝내.
야,
집에 출발하려고요.
야 이거 내 짝퉁이야 이거.
뭐? 채널일 거 아니야?
존이라고 들었어 존.
아,
왜 존이야?
예린인가?
어?
예린인가 누군가가
내가-
채연이 이름 이상하게 지어서.
내가 먼저인데 이거.
어떤 그 중간 시간에서 어떤 문제 나올까요?
졸려.
What subject?
History.
수학.
수학.
수학. 수학 여기.
어머, sorry.
레슨.
Other function
Yeah, like
and
do you have practice questions?
Quadratic.
Yeah, because I can teach you how to solve.
Easy.
이거 신경을 좀.
오늘
제가 택시 나이스.
So what's alpha
It's
squared?
so complicated.
No, this is okay. This is not hard. Okay, so
Yes.
what's a squared? It's 1 plus I divided by 2i times 1 plus I.
너 여기 앉아 있어.
What's the bottom? What's the bottom of the
여기 마이너스 4.
뒤로 뒤로 와. 우리 다음.
bottom is minus 4. Okay. What's the top?
또 옮겼으면 큰일 났다.
마이너스 2.
근데 문제 제가 없을 거 왜냐면 얘를 쳤는데 얘가 나오고 있나요?
아, 그치. 또 올릴
2.
엄마 걸리고 있어.
저 I 마이너스 4.
좀 많이 그래.
Right. What's b squared? It's very similar. Beta squared.
이거
마이너스 2I
Yeah.
디바이드 마이너스
진짜 그런 거.
Okay. So what do we have now? We have
We want to switch
3 minus 2i over 2. What's 2i over 2? 3 minus 2i over 2, which is just I, times 3 plus 2i over 2.
2I
I, 3 plus I times plus that.
10. No 10?
9
플러스 1.
plus 1, yeah.
아,
Okay, this problem. When you see, they give you the answer, right? Here's the answer, they just want you to plug it in. You should always square this first. Especially if you see something on top that, you know, it's 1 plus I, right? Over 2I. When you square it, you'll probably get something kind of nice. Because this is complex and this is purely imaginary, this will be real on the bottom. And then the top will probably be complex. Okay? So you just multiply this first, and then it comes out really nice. You know, you just get minus I over 2, oh, and then you have the A minus B and A plus B, and then you can easily compute it. Okay? What's another one that you think is hard? That might be hard.
이거 파란색 있나요? 그리고
This bar is zero. That bar. Bar.
Not C? What
That bar is like,
Good.
for example, that is A plus BI. That bar is A minus BI.
Complement.
Yes, it is that. And that is complex number. Due to
Find what
know
it is.
what the jet is.
Okay. So the key here is to just write it as A plus BI, right? And then you want to solve for A and B. Do you have other information? No. Okay. So they give you Z plus 2Z complement. This is called complement. So actually in probability, which we've been doing, I would say X is a random variable. This means not X. So this means X does not occur. Okay? So you'll see that kind of similar thing. In this case, it's just the thing with, you know, it's the A minus BI, this is A plus BI. Okay. So then we have this divided by Z times Z complement equals 3 plus 2I. Okay. So, why don't we plug in A plus BI? Plus 2A minus 2BI, right? Divided by, what's A plus BI times A minus BI?
A square plus B.
Alright, equals what?
3 minus B.
Alright, so then what do we do here? We just guess.
Guess?
We guess A and B. Okay, how do you guess A and B? What looks like a good solution? What does it equal? This equals 3 plus 2I, right? Okay, so BI over A squared plus B squared equals 2I. Get rid of the i's. B divided by A squared plus B squared equals 2. And then what's the other part? You have 3A divided by A squared plus B squared equals 3, and you get rid of the 3. So this is 1. A over A squared plus B squared is 1, and b over a squared plus b squared is 2? What's a good guess?
2 is B.
Good guess.
Yes. Yeah, like, okay, I mean, you technically could divide them, right? And then you would get b divided by a equals 2, right?
Huh?
If you divide these two, you would get b over a equals 2, right?
그러니까 위에 거에서 밑에 나누는 역수 때문에 돌려주잖아. 그래서
Because 2 divided 1 is 2. This goes away because you divide. b over a is 2.
2a is b.
So, what do you think is a good solution for this?
b is 2a.
Well, yeah, that's true. But give me like real numbers, right? Don't they want you to put in a real number for z?
Huh?
They want you to put in actual numbers, right? Because remember z equals a plus bi, which equals a plus 2ai, right?
Yes.
But the thing is that you need to put in values that satisfy this. So, it's something like, you've got some, b over a squared plus b squared equals 2. Okay. So it's definitely not a plus b equals it's not a squared plus b squared. So b is not 2. Because if b were 2, what would a be?
1.
1, right? And then what's this? What's the bottom part?
2.
No, it's 5.
Yes.
If b is 2. So b is not 2. What's an option? Let's think something else. Why don't we just try b equals 1? A is a half. No, that's no good. Wait, this is
Just guessing.
I don't know. Okay, so they want us to solve that. I mean, I guess you can solve it because you have 2 variables and 2 equations. So if you were to do this, annoying. Okay, b equals 2a squared plus b squared. A equals. Wait, isn't b just 0? No, sorry, I'm being dumb. Okay. Alright. Okay, so then you get 2a squared plus b squared minus b equals 0, and a squared plus 2b squared plus b squared minus a equals 0. Now we want to solve this. Well, I guess you can multiply by 2. And then you get the same thing. You get b equals 2a. And then if we plug in here, you get a equals a squared plus 4. Why is this coming out weird? A equals 5a squared. That means that a is 0. Wait, no. That means that a is... Hold on. This would be a... Yeah. Why is it coming out wrong? Did I mess something up? Anybody see a mistake? Do you see a mistake? Up through here. Do you see a mistake here? see what we're doing. So z is definitely a plus bi, right?
예.
Okay, z is a plus bi. So, did we do this right? Yes, we did this right. Okay? A squared plus b squared? Yeah, that's right. Because a plus bi times a minus bi. Bi squared is minus b squared times negative 1. B squared plus b squared. Okay, this is right. Now, we get that equals 3 plus 2i. Yes. Right? So the real part has to be 3 equals 3a divided by a squared plus b squared. Right? The real part. The imaginary part. Okay, everybody agrees with this.
Yes.
We got this from that. Alright. So, that means, yep, the 3's go away, and then the i's go away. And we get a over a squared plus b squared equals 1. And then we get b over a squared plus b squared equals 2.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Bad question. The blue color.
Can you see it? Because I'm not sure what z is, but you said that z is. I'm doubting that if z is a plus bi,
아니 그 곱셈 공식 같은 거.
I'm doubting that this.
그 앞쪽에 진수가 그런 거 있어.
That doesn't seem right to me because the answer is not coming out right.
진수.
So how do you know what z is? What's z times z complement? Do you have an expression for that? Because I don't know what they're defining the complement
Z
as.
is not 0. That's all.
Z is not 0. Wait, does that mean z is not complex?
Z is complex number.
Complex, not just imaginary.
컴플렉스 넘버.
Complex number, a plus bi.
예.
Yes.
Okay?
그냥 뭐 수도 숨어줄 수 있지 않나?
Huh.
It is complement, so I think it can be pure imaginary too, because it's complex number.
Ah. Yeah, there's something weird going on. Well, okay, what's a squared plus b squared? That's a, what is that? That's a minus bi times a plus bi. Yeah, we had that. Huh. I don't know how they want to do it. I see. Well, okay, this is z over z complement plus 2z complement over z complement equals 3 plus 2i. Well, you get rid of this. 1 over z complement plus 2 over z equals 3 plus 2i. Okay. Well,
근데 solve it.
응?
이걸 몰라. 아니야. 그냥 답이 뭐야?
다?
no, we find the answer. And we
아니야,
try to
이건데
find the
맞는지 모르겠어. 아니 안 돼.
몰라.
안 돼.
Okay, so you can try this way now. Now we plug in. Plus.
이거 어떻게 아까 방법
이거 못 보는 게 이상하지 않아?
방법 알려줘.
잘.
다리 문제.
아니 기본으로 나오지 않아. 그리고 셀리까지 해서 그러니까 봤는지 모르겠어.
아니 근데 얘기해봐. 아니 틀렸다고 십자가 달지 않아 걱정 마. 아니 이게
아니 그냥 보고
분수 나왔어?
분수 나왔는데
분수 나왔는 맞을 걸.
A가 5분의 1이고 B가 5분의 2인가? 맞아?
못 푸는 거야.
Okay, what I'm getting from this is that what I got is I get that A equals A squared plus B
근데
squared.
이거밖에 없는데 답이.
B equals 2 A squared plus 2B squared.
응?
2A.
너 왜 계산으로 가고 있지?
어떻게 풀어보는 거야?
그러니까 분모를
그러니까 A 제곱 플러스 B 제곱.
지금 두 식이 나오잖아. A 제곱 B 플러스 B 제곱분의 A는 1이고 A 제곱 플러스 B 제곱 A 제곱 플러스 B 제곱분의 B는 2다. 두 개 나오잖아. 그거 연립반정식 해가지고 풀면 되잖아.
아 그래?
What do they want you to tell?
잠깐만 있죠. 다시 했다.
I'm confused what they're looking for.
그러니까요.
They want Z. Z is A plus BI. When you solve it, you get 2A equals B.
G를 구하는 거야.
응.
Okay.
5분의
근데 비슷했어.
So do they just want you?
답이 이게 아니라고?
I mean,
답이 이게 아니래요. 네.
2A equals B. Okay, well, I guess we could just say 2 plus I. You can try that. Let's see if it works. 2 plus I. Alright, let me try. Divided by 2, 4. No, it's not right.
답이 뭔데? 이게 알려줘봐.
Alright, well, let's plug in B equals 2A. Okay. 2A over A squared plus B squared equals 2.
찍는 거지.
A equals A squared. This is what I got before. Yes.
아 이게 어떻게?
Where is it? I don't know what's wrong with
그러니까
it.
맞는지 모르겠어.
연립 분해를 구하긴 했는데.
There's nothing. I checked it twice. I don't understand. What are they looking for? What is am I misinterpreting the question?
그러니까 여기까지 그랬는데 A가 1이 나오고 또 B가
Yeah.
여기서 이렇게 나오는데
Yeah.
그거 했어.
2. Yes. Yes.
여기다가 양면에 이걸 곱해봐.
아무 뭘 곱하?
이가 이렇게 되면
Yes. I
그치.
did.
그치.
맞아요. 이게 이렇게 가잖아.
I did this.
그러면 B가 요거 여기 있지. 그럼 얘는 이거잖아.
Yeah.
그러면
야.
A가 여기다 양면에도 곱하면 B는 2A잖아. 그럼 여기다 대입을 해주면 돼.
Yeah. But
게임을 하라고?
we did this, but we don't know what A and B are yet.
왜 답지 없어?
답지 좀 줘봐.
아니 근데.
We
안 돼.
did this.
일단 구하면 일단 구하게.
그러니까 대입을 했는데.
I go. This is what we got.
그러니까
그거 맞아요.
맞대잖아. 맞다고 쳐.
제가 그거 했어요.
몇 번이야?
대입을 해서
몇 번이야?
이거 더 어려워요.
어?
제가 그 재밌는 수학 보고 싶어.
옥수수.
마무리가 4번 되잖아.
This is what I'm getting.
4a가 되고 이거 1이 되니까
아 풀었다.
이거 a가 제곱이면 5 a 2
잘 보이는 걸로 쓰는 게 어때?
아 제곱
그러니까 82원.
제곱
연속인데 82원.
그러니까 얘들아
A, yeah. And then
a 제곱 a
뭘
맞을 때
모르는
1 a
no.
yes yes 그러면
Yeah, that's what I got, but then this is no good.
그럼 이렇게 해가지고
You
땡땡
can't do that.
이렇게 이거 아니야?
Yeah.
몰랐어,
no,
몰라.
It's,
a는 5분의 1
맞아.
yeah.
답이 이거야?
여기는 5분이고.
그 다음에
Okay, yeah.
이거였으니까 여기다가 a를 도입하면 1은 5분의 2잖아
마이너스 5분이.
응?
No.
네.
Is this
어.
okay? We do it right, and then I got confused.
마이너스 5분의 2는 잘 모르겠어
Okay,
이거래
we did it right. Oh, yeah.
그 사고하고 있는
So easy to make a mistake. Ugh.
Oh. And you got 0 score.
No, it's just.
그냥 너의 미래야
It's just you just have to check it because sometimes it's like you're almost there and then you're like, am I doing it right? There's so many places you can make a mistake. That's a hard thing.
얘를 기능이 없어.
우리 안 풀어 우리 시험 기간이야
맨날 놀고.
아 맞아 땡땡땡가 놀면서 공부도
Are there any like conceptual questions?
하게 돼
컨셉션.
진이야
The test doesn't need that conceptual question. Just stupid question.
Just calculate. Why do you need to calculate this?
For school is basic.
So stupid.
teacher
Ah, yes.
캡션이 있는데요
Huh?
이게
Okay.
이게 아 너무 멀어 this 쌤
This is okay.
다 틀려가지고 지금
Okay, number 6.
뭐야 문제가?
뭐지 순간 저 문제 너는 안 풀었어 인간은
아.
근과 계수의 관 아무 그걸걸? 아 문제 뭔데?
베타인가?
배짱 깃발이다
써야지.
마이너스 그게 플러스 베타 제곱 플러스 3 마이너스 5분의 알파가 뭐니? 베타 알파가 두 근이야 x에
저게 문제예요?
저게 문제야
오.
This is not bad. This is not bad. Okay. So the key is that
누가 나면 대입해 그냥.
제발
we need
했는데
to just
틀렸대
solve
답이
this. We need to solve this thing.
그러니까요 그렇다니까요
아니,
해를 구했어요.
괜찮아요. Okay, so x equals -2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared. What's 2 squared? 2 squared. 2 squared. 4.
플러스 아니야
Well, yeah, so it's a plus. Minus,
두 개.
so minus 4 times this is 20. Divided by what?
2
2.
그래도 구했다니까 그래.
Alright, what is this? This is 4 times 6, right? So, what can we do? We say,
이거 앞에 나오네 우와
does this make, do you know
나
this?
똑같네
Yeah.
yes
Okay, 24 equals 4 times 6. So we take square root of 4 times 6. What's the square root of this? 2. Which equals 2 root 6. Okay? Everyone good?
Yes.
Alright. Now all the 2's go away. And we get
이거 대입해도 그냥
plus or minus root 6. Sorry. Wait, no. 1, sorry. 1
마이너스
마이너스 1.
마이너스
minus, same thing. No.
Same
Sorry.
thing.
No. Sorry. 1 plus and minus root 6. Okay. Well, then what do we have to do? Well, so that's when that equals 0. What is it? So what does it want you to do now? It wants you to find what the answer to this is.
이거 뭘 구하는 거니? 뭘 구하는 거니?
What are you supposed to?
그러니까 알파랑 베타가 두근이 해요.
So okay. So what are the roots of this? You have. Okay. So what do you have? You have x. So you have x squared
구하래.
plus 2x plus 5. Minus 5 equals x minus. So
이 소리가 안 돼.
뭘 구하는지 모르는데.
x minus minus 1.
교육청 문제 있어.
그러니까 굉장히
교육청 문제 있어.
오케이 나는
Is there a problem? Okay, because you can write it. Now you found the roots, right?
Yes.
So that's how you factor it. You can write it in factored form. Okay.
다 답이 뭐야?
답이 몰라.
So what is the factoring gonna look like? Alright, so what are the two roots? Okay, roots. What are the roots?
노가다로 대입하면 안
The
돼.
roots are minus
안 되는
1
거야?
노가다로 대입하는 거 아니야?
plus root 6
지금 이거 했잖아.
and
마이너스
minus 1 minus root 6. This is negative,
이거 마이너스.
less than 0. This is positive, greater than 0, right? Okay, so what do we do?
플러그인?
Alright, so you get, this is greater than 0. So you need x plus
Why? 아 그렇구나.
x plus minus 1 plus root 6,
오 마이 갓.
right? Times
그럴 리가 없어.
x minus 1 minus root 6.
네? 근데 저기 플러스가 된다고? X 플러스요?
Well, no, because usually when it's the root, right, this one is less than 0,
아.
right?
오케이.
So usually when, wait, did I mix them up? Okay, so like say we had x equals plus or minus 2, right?
Yes.
So it would be x, sorry. So let's see, x equals plus 3 minus 1. It would be, if x equals minus 1, if x is negative, it's plus. So this one is plus and this one is minus.
아.
Because if x is negative, right, this is x less than 0. If x is negative, then to get to 0, you need to add plus. It's like, this is for x equals 0, right? When x equals 0, well, for the equation to equal 0, it needs to equal 0, right? This needs to be 0, right? So when the equation is 0, in the factored form, either this is 0 or this is 0, right? For the equation to be 0, for this to be 0. That's what we solved, right? Okay, so this is 0 if x is, so assume x is, positive, right? This is 0 when you add a negative number, right? Is 0 when you add a negative number, right? And then when you subtract this number. Okay? It's like, because if x equals minus 2, then it's x plus 2. Wait, that means... wait, okay, let me think. I'm not... How do I... Okay. If x equals minus 2, it's x plus 2. If x equals 2, it's x minus 2. Okay, so the positive one, I was right. The positive one is the minus. The positive one is the minus, right? Because x is positive, x greater than 0, so you need to subtract to get to 0. The negative one is the plus, because x is less than 0, so you need to, yeah, the negative one is the plus, because you have to add something to, you have to subtract the negative number. What?
둘 다 마이너스 아니야?
I can't do this. My head hurts. They're both minus. Yes, okay.
마이너스.
Yes. Yes, 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 because this is plus, this becomes plus, and then this stays as the minus, the bigger one. Okay, and then that is going to go to x plus 1 minus root 6 times
근데 왜 구하겠지 우리가?
x plus 1 plus root 6. Okay. And then it wants you to, okay, so now you have to substitute alpha and beta in here. So,
되게 일일이 해봤는데 아닌데?
the bottom is going to be,
근거 기술은 이용한 거 아니야?
그러니까 근거 계수관계를 어떻게 사용해? 쓸데가 없네.
okay, the bottom is going to be here, it's going to be alpha plus 1 minus root 6 times alpha plus 1 plus root 6, okay, plus, right? Yes, yes, okay. Sorry, this is alpha divided by beta plus 1 minus root 6 times beta plus 1 plus root 6. Okay, what do we do now?
Make one.
왜 저렇게 되죠?
What do you usually do when you have to add two fractions?
머리가 안 보여.
뽕 거다.
What can you plug in that like might, usually you would multiply it by like this on this side and that on that side, but I don't like that, so I'm gonna think, okay, what value can you plug in to make this easier to do?
난 포기.
I want to give up too, but you can't give up.
아니 모르겠어요.
I wonder what the trick is here. There must be some kind of trick.
I think it can be easily solved.
What's the trick? Where's your textbook?
Huh?
그
What, is
뒤에
it,
답지.
what does it want you to do?
Teacher,
Yes.
see the answer.
No. No, we have to think about how to solve it. Alright, any ideas on how to do this?
안다요. 나 해봐.
Can I tell my idea?
What's your idea?
Can I go out and write?
Yeah. No answer.
그냥
Never.
못하면 알지.
Can I read this?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
그냥 저 채팅도 모르고 하고
On the alpha and beta is solution. So if you plug
Oh, is that what they're saying?
a minus
Oh, why didn't you tell me?
then
와!
plus
이거 기분을 모르네.
You didn't, she didn't.
그러니까요.
So it's alpha.
Wait,
Oh
wait,
my
wait,
God.
wait. So they're, why are they saying That's the solution.
That's-
Wait. What? I'm so confused. What does this mean? Oh, so it's.
N is beta, yes.
Oh, and we already
Alpha,
found that.
beta.
It's just this. It's this.
Yeah, like
Solution.
that. We have to
And
solve
it's
that.
1 plus root 6, 1 minus root 6.
이거는
No, that's how you solve because alpha beta is a solution. And the solution that we find is one-
we don't
아,
have to
쓸데
know what is
있구나.
alpha
이게 쓸데
beta. Because I
근거 계산에 관계 필요 없지.
yes 아이가 필요 있어. 여기서 이렇게 구해야 되잖아.
No. So the
A
answer
제곱 마이너스
is
5는 마이너스 2 제곱이 아니라
1 plus root 6
맞잖아.
over 1 minus.
And then if that one is like
뭐 하는
that,
거야?
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
and we can know that alpha plus beta is minus 2 and alpha beta is minus 5, so we have to plug in that.
마이너스
Wait. So they gave you the solution.
No. We can know that what is.
Why is alpha beta the solution? Does the question say?
근거 기술 관계를 안 배우지.
Why?
아 Y
Why is it?
야 이거 근거 계산의 관계를 증명해
Our
봐봐.
school teachers.
Why?
증명을 해
How do
봐봐.
you know this?
I
It's just a solution. Is that?
예를 들어서 얘기해봐. 예를 들어서.
I'm confused. Why?
그냥 쌤이 근거 계산의 관계를 모르지.
How do you know?
선생님 모르셨고.
뭐야? 그러니까 잘 모르는 것 같은데.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we did that.
증명하는 방법이 너무 싫다.
Yes.
Why is that alpha?
Alpha. For example, alpha is like plus like that.
Yeah. Well, okay. Why
And
are you calling them alpha and beta?
And beta is I will prove for you. And beta.
야 글씨.
Oh my god. And alpha plus beta is we can set out. We can go out.
I
And
see.
Yes. So it's
No, but that's just that. See, that's not that. That's minus b. That's minus 2b
And
yes.
divided by 2a.
So it's divided and it's minus alpha beta. So we
Minus
also
b
did,
over
yes,
a. Yeah.
Yes, so I said, you said.
Because
Oh,
that's the
minus
two
b.
roots. But how do you know alpha and beta are the roots? Does it say alpha and beta are the roots?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that it said that.
Oh, yes.
Wait, so you're supposed to treat alpha and beta is like the solution to that. Okay, then you get minus b over a, yeah.
Yes. So it's that. We can prove it and we can solve it.
응? 근데
I see. That's what they mean.
아니
세제곱이야? 분모가? 분모가 세제곱
두제곱이잖아.
그거 아니라 그거
Aha.
Yeah.
So that's what they want you to do.
알파 제곱 플러스
So these are the two roots, right? So in this case, it would be that alpha equals, it would be alpha equals 1, like minus 1 minus root 6, and beta would be minus 1 plus root 6, right? Because that's what we solved, right? That's what they're saying, is these are the two solutions to when it's 0. These are the roots. So then basically the thing that they want you to do is that, you know, he said, oh, look at alpha plus beta. What if you add the two roots? What is that equal to? Yeah. Okay. That's basically what he was doing. Now, I'm not... So if you know the two roots to this are minus 2, then you get the bottom. So like, what is the bottom equation, right, in each one? So then you can plug in the values, right? All right, you get, so alpha over beta, the solution to that is beta equals minus. So you have, let's do it all out. Minus 1 plus root 6 squared,
쭉 파신다고요?
right? Because you're plugging in beta.
But we don't have to do it.
Oh my god, no.
I agree.
Very very
to do it.
Okay. So it just wants you to do that. Okay.
Teacher, may I drink some water?
Yes.
이게 조건적으로 얘기해야 돼.
I give up.
Why?
Because it's just annoying.
그 다음
You
거예요.
never have to do this like after you're in college. You don't have nothing. Never. Never. If I have to do this in college, I'll fail.
와.
Fail math major.
근데 내가 저걸 몰라. 저 수천만 원 부족한 거 같아.
Okay.
지금 계속 할까? 난 지금 안 나요. 난 지금 할 거 없거든.
So yesterday we introduced a random variable, right? Does everyone remember what that is?
Like
Huh?
나 좋은
Dad? Your dad is what?
페이퍼 종이요.
Oh,
너무 잘스러웠어.
alright, so X can be anything, right? It's just something that you're labeling, right? But we usually are going to consider cases where X consists of elements in the sample space, right? And does everyone remember what the sample space is? What is the sample space? What is the sample space? It's this thing. Okay? So if we call this S, say I'm flipping 3 coins. The coin 3 times, okay? So we have heads, 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 tails,
fairy tale.
Okay, we've got 8 outcomes. Why are there 8?
2 to be 3.
Right. I have 2 options each time. 2 times 2 times 2. Okay. And our sample space would consist of every single one of these. Okay? All of them. All of them are in the sample space. Okay? And so basically we can define X as anything that we want. So let me say, let X be let X equal 1. This is an indicator, right? It can be 1 or 0 in this case if I get less than or equal to, no, if I get less than, strictly less than 2 heads, and 0 else. Okay? So what is the probability that X equals 1? What is when X equals 1? I get less than 2 heads.
4.
Yes. Alright, so how many of these do I get less than 2 heads? Let's circle them. Well, here's less than 2. What about this one?
Yes.
No more.
Yeah.
All 2 or more. 4 out of 8 total.
We'll have
What's the probability X equals 0?
1
Okay. And E of X. Do I guess, yeah, what's the expected value?
1/2.
Yeah, because we have 1/2 times 0 plus 1/2 times 1, which equals 1/2, which equals p of x equals 1, which is always true for an indicator variable. So if you say, if you have some variable r equals 0, 1 with probability p, and 0 with probability 1 minus p, e of r is always equal to p, right? Okay, cool. So now let's go a little more complicated. Alright. Now let's say that I flip a coin 10 times. Okay. So how many possible outcomes? How many possible?
2 to 9.
2 to the 9. Alright, cool. 9 times. Let x be the number of heads. Okay? What is e of x? Alright, let's try to compute it. Now we're gonna have to do we're gonna have to apply some of the concepts that we've learned up till now. Okay? Alright, what's the probability that x is ranging from what? 0, less than or equal to x can be 0, what's the most it can be?
1. 9.
Yes, 9. Alright. So, there's 10 possible values for x, right? So, remember that e of x equals the sum over, x equals I for all I of p of x equals I times I. Okay? So it's a sum over I that, I such that I are values that x can take on. Okay? So in this case, we have e of x equals what?
9. 0 to 9.
The sum of I equals 0 to 9, yes, of what?
P of x
I.
equal
times I.
Alright, now let's start working it out. It's going to take a little while. So, let's look at the case where I equals 0. What is P of x equals I?
I is head. How
Number.
many heads?
Number of heads is 0.
1.
We always get no heads. If we flip a coin 9 times.
2 to the 9. 1 divided 2 to the 9.
Yes. Alright, I equals 1.
Can you use
Alright, think about permutations. I have 1 heads and 8 tails. How many ways can I arrange that?
9?
Yes. 9 choose 1. 9 over 2 to the 9. Okay. Now?
9 choose 2.
Yeah. You have 9 choose 2 over 2 to the 9. Okay. So, now that we've done this, can anybody give me a simpler expression for this?
prime time 1 divided to 9.
Yeah, well, so yeah, we can say that this is the sum from I equals 0, because remember, this is 9 choose 0, right?
Yes.
Sum of I equals 1, 0 to 9, of what? 9 choose I divided by 2 to the 9 is P of I times, right? This is the probability that x equals I, right?
Times I.
Times I, yes. And that's good enough. Okay? Okay, cool. So, in general, now I'm going to give you a similar problem. The expected value. This time I have an independent coin, but the probability P of heads on any flip equals 1/3. And P of tails equals 2/3. Okay? Flips are independent still. If I flip n times, what is, so let x be the number of heads. If I flip n times, what is e of x? You don't have to solve it, just write a sum.
N times?
Yeah. It's a little bit tricky. Okay, first, I'm gonna not do this yet because you guys will get confused. So just do a half, Make sure you get this first and then we do 1/3. 1/3 is too hard for now. So, let's see. What is the denominator? Right? So let's write out the first couple. Are you guys working on it? Alright, start working on the problem.
No.
Yes, you can. It's not okay. You can do it. It's the same, okay? So, first of all, what values can x take on? Right? We have n flips, right? So some sequence n long of heads and tails. Okay? How many values are there for x if x is the number of heads? What can x be? Can I have 0 heads? Could I have n tails? Yes, right? 0 less than or equal to x. I could have 1 heads, I could have 2 heads. Can I have n heads?
Yes.
Yeah, can I have n plus 1 heads?
No.
No, because I don't flip it n plus 1 times. Alright, so we have a range of x, right? So this is like writing, well, x could equal 0, x equals 1, x equals n minus 1, x equals n. Alright, now, the key that you want to do here is figure out for I in 1 to n, what is the probability that x equals I? And you can do this by, 0 to n, yeah. So you can do this by starting with I equals 0, right? So if I equals 0, right? What's P of x equals 0? That should be easy.
1 by 2 to the n
Yeah. Why?
times 0.
Alright, I want other people to tell me what is p of x equals 0 and why. You get no heads. I flip the coin n times, and every single time I get tails. What's the probability of that happening? Come on guys, you can do this. Okay. If you want to give me your money again, right? Is 1/2 probability. Alright, so I have to get tails, 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 n times. Okay? N tails. Alright? Every time, what's the probability? These are independent. What's the probability of 1 tails? What's the probability of 1 tails? Right? 1/2. Yes. Alright, this is 1/2. What about this one? 1/2. This one. Yeah? Aha. Yes. It's random. I flip it, I could get heads, or I could get tails. I just flipped it twice. Now if I do this n times, right? I let it go, and I flip n times, I want to count how many times do I get the face, okay? And how many times do I get the number? Number is tails, face is heads, okay? So, the first thing, if x equals 0, it means no heads. What does that mean? That means all tails. Alright, what's this probability? They're all 1/2. There's n of them. 1/2 to the n, right? Equals 1/2 to the n. Okay? Alright, let's look at the case where x equals 1. That means 1 heads. Okay? It means that one of these is going to be a heads. Okay? So, if one of these is a heads, right, I've changed it. Now I have n minus 1 tails and 1 heads. Okay? So, it's still going to be 2 to the n on the bottom, right? Because all the probabilities are 1/2, right? But the problem is that this h could be here, but it could also be here, or it could 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 be anywhere. So essentially, we are arranging n minus 1 t's and 1 h. How many ways can we do that? Yeah. See it this way. We have n items in a row, right? We have 1 of one type and n minus 1 of another type. How many ways do we arrange it? We get n factorial for all the ways to arrange a list of n items, divided by, how many ways can I arrange the t's? Because they're all the same. All the t's are the same. So, that's n minus 1 factorial, I've overcounted. Times 1 factorial, which is 1 for the 1h, equals n. This is also equal to n choose 1. Okay?
Yeah.
You guys seen this, right? Yeah. So this is n over 2 to the n. Okay? Or I'll write it as n choose 1 over 2 to the n. Same thing. Alright, now what am I going to do? I'm going to change another one to an H. What happens now? Now I have two H's. So, we want P of x equals 2. What do we get now? The bottom is the same. It's still all 1/2. So, it's going to be 2 to the n on the bottom. And what's on top? Any ideas? Now I have 2 h's and n minus 2 t's. How many ways can I arrange that? Well, okay. How many ways can I arrange all of them? N factorial. Always n factorial, okay? The number of ways to arrange n items, but I have overcounted how many times for the t's, if they're all the same. Okay, alright. Let's go back. Let's say n equals 4. Okay? I have some h, t, or say I have, 1 h. H, t, t, t. T, h, t, t. T, t, h, t. T, 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 h. Alright. So, how many ways can I arrange 4 items? 4 factorial for 4 items. Because for the first item, there's 4 options. The second one, there's 3, 2, 1. Now, the problem is that's if I consider these T1, T2, T3 as different. But they're all the same. So I've overcounted the number of ways to arrange these 3 items. How many ways can I arrange 3 items? 3 factorial. And then the h is just 1 item, so we're good. And this equals 4.
Yeah.
Alright, now we're going to go to 2 h's. N equals 4, h equals 2, or sorry, x equals 2. So you have 2 h's. Alright. And so the probability in that case would have been 1. It would have been, 4 over 2 to the 4th, right? Because there's 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2. Yeah. And there's 4 ways. So, here we go. We're going to have h, t, t. H, t, h, t. H, t, t, h. T, h, h, t. T, h, t, h. T, t, h, h. How many are there? 6. Okay. Now, let's think about that. Let's think about how many ways would there be if I said T1, T2, H1, H2. How many ways to arrange everything? 4 factorial. Yes, 4 factorial. But the problem is that these 2 are the same. How many ways can I swap the H's for each arrangement?
2 factorial.
Yeah. Equals 2. And then how many ways can I swap the T's?
2.
Okay? And that's 6. 4 times 3 over 2. 6. Okay? So, let's look at the case. We have n items. We have n minus 2 t's and 2 h's. How many ways can I arrange that? Well, how many ways do I arrange them if they're all different? No. 2 to the n is on the bottom, right? That's on the bottom. Now, we're looking at the top, okay? The top number. Because it's like the same. So if you consider here n equals 4, n minus 2 was the number of t's, equals 2. Right? In this case. And then number of h's equals 2. Okay. So imagine that all these n minus 2 t's are distinct. They're different from each other. It's like I put like t1, t2, and then this would be like tn minus 2. Okay? And this would be h1, h2. They're all different. How many ways can I arrange this sequence? There's n items. They're all different. Yes, n factorial. There's n options for the first one, n options for the second one. I mean, n minus 1 options for the second one, n minus 2 options for the third one, n minus 3 options, n minus 4, all the way down to 1. Okay? Yeah, okay. Now, n factorial. So, but we have a problem. We have n minus 2 t's that are exactly the same. How many ways for each arrangement? Say I look at just this arrangement. How many ways can I arrange the t's? Yeah. The number of t factorial. How many t's are there?
n minus 2.
So?
n minus 2 factorial
Yes.
times 2 factorial.
Which equals?
And choose.
Or n choose n minus 2.
Yes.
Same thing.
저기 써있잖아. t가 n
Same
minus 2.
thing. It's the number of t's. If I have 2 h's and I have n items, I have n minus 2 t's. Okay?
I don't know why we divide n minus 2 factorial.
Ah. Okay. That is because when we have, I have n items, okay? I have t, say there's 2 h's somewhere, there's an h here in the middle, and you know, t, etc., right? And we have n. Okay? There's 2 h's and n minus 2 t's. I want to know how many ways can I have 2 heads? How many ways, right? Alright, so it's n factorial for n items. That's if I had t1, t2, t3, tn minus 3, tn minus 2, h1, h2, right? They're all different. Imagine that everything is different from each other. Then it's n factorial. The problem is that all these t's are the same. So we've double counted. Okay? We counted too many. How many too many? How much, like, why, how many too many did we count? You know, like, how much did we overcount?
Minus 2, and t minus 2, n minus
Factorial.
2. Yes.
Yeah. Why? Because that's the number of ways. Ignore the h's, pretend the h's don't exist. Then we just have, all these t's are the same. So we overcounted by the number of ways to arrange all the t's among each other. Which is n minus 2 factorial. Alright. Now pretend the t's don't exist. And let's go back to the h's. Right? How many ways can we arrange the h's?
2 factorial.
Yes. Because just 2, you just swap them. 2. 2 factorial equals 2. This is equivalent to picking the 2 places for h's, right? Because this is the number of ways to pick 2 items from n items. So it's like I'm picking the two spots that the H's are going to go. Okay? Alright, so what is the probability that x equals 2? Probability I have two heads. You guys need to sleep at nighttime. You must not sleep at nighttime.
Very
Why?
small time.
Why don't you sleep?
I don't know.
You need to sleep
I want to sleep.
at night. Not now. Why do you have to study at night? Everyone is so tired today.
Because I hate
because of government.
Government?
Yeah.
What did the government do?
government tell us go to school.
Huh?
Government tell us to go to
The
school.
education government is crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Everyone is just dying. It's not good. It's bad.
So
It's terrible.
It's stressful.
worse.
I'm sorry. It seems very stressful. Okay. Does anybody need to vent their stress for a second? What is everyone stressed about?
Studying
For what? What are you most stressed about?
everything. I just go to school itself.
Going to school is stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, also people are really like judging of other people here sometimes, I think. They care a lot what somebody else is doing.
All the Korean children like this.
Like you?
Or tired.
Yeah, you're all just dead inside. It's not good. Life only gets worse. You should have fun now. You just get. It's like you think it's gonna get better, and then it doesn't get better. You think that life will get better, and then it doesn't get better, and then you're like, why did I do that to myself when, you know, because nothing changes. Like you think, oh, like when I have a job or when I get into this college, like everything's gonna be great, but that's not how it works. Everything is exactly the same.
Korean people are crazy.
They think that it's gonna get better, and I'm just like, no. It doesn't get better. It's the same. That's why it's good to realize that sooner. You know why? Because then you don't go to college and you're like, oh no, life is still bad.
How miserable.
And then you realize life is still bad, and you're like, why? Why did I think it was gonna be good? So it's good to just realize that, oh, well, you know, that's just how it is, I guess. Sooner. No, but see, the thing is, it's like this kind of like false hope. They give you this false hope where like, oh, you're gonna go to college. Once you get into the best school, you're gonna be so happy and everything's gonna work out perfectly. And that's not how it is.
Yeah. I agree.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter.
The crazy Korean people don't think like that.
No, Americans don't think like that either. It's only me because like, you go to, especially like MIT, like a lot of people, like they come there and they think they're so smart, you know? They're like the best in their high school,
Most time.
whatever. They're monsters, but some of them, they think they're smart and then all of a sudden they're not. They're not smart anymore. Everybody else is just as smart as them. Right? And it's not easier, it's harder than high school. Sometimes. Probably harder than Korean high school. Well, different. I wouldn't say harder, I would say different. But, you know, it's just, that's just how it is. Korean college students, they don't have any motivation. They just go and they drink. And that's all they do.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's also bad. Because their only method of coping with stress is through alcohol, which is not good. You know, how else, you need other methods of coping with stress, you know? Rather than just drink. It's bad for health.
Oh.
Right?
It is opposite from America.
I mean, it's not like college students don't drink in America. They do, even though it's illegal. They do. It's just they probably shouldn't drink that much. It's not good. Like, you know, every year there's like some people who die from drinking too much
Oh.
in colleges.
Well,
Yeah. So, yes, that's a thing. So, yeah, it's not good.
How about high school student in America?
Yeah, they drink too.
Huh?
Some of them drink.
Oh.
Not
Drug?
me.
Drug?
I don't want to talk about this because, like, in my high school, like, it's illegal in Korea, but it's like now in some places in America it's legal. So the more rich the high school is, the more drugs, basically.
Oh.
oh.
Like, if you go to like private school, boarding school,
Yeah.
it's so much drugs. It's like the most drugs in the entire United States are at rich people boarding schools. So I find it kind of funny that Korean parents, they send their kids there. Like the rich Korean, they send their kids to American boarding school, and I'm just like, why? This is not a good decision. They just party all the time. It's not good, bad.
Like Korean college?
Worse.
Oh.
Worse.
Worse, way worse. Okay. So everybody's very, yeah, it can be stressful. I can imagine. It's very stressful. So much pressure to do well and get into good college here.
Yes.
And then some people, I heard they cheat and they
Wow.
bribe teachers for recommendations.
Then
Oh.
Yes, that's bad too.
some rich people do that. To go to good college.
Oh, God. But then the thing is that if they get there, they're not going to be able to handle it. You know, they'll be the stupidest person to do it. Because if you're not good enough to go to a school, you probably shouldn't go. Like, the thing is, that's the kind of thing is, like, not everybody should go to, like, MIT, you know, Harvard, whatever. Not everybody. Because it is, like, a lot of stress. So I think it's not, like, a bad thing to go to, like, a good school that's not the very top. And then you might do really well there and get more confidence. And then realize, oh, I'm actually good at stuff. Like, my mom is a professor at MIT.
Oh.
Also, and she did not go to a very like top college, and then she got into graduate school at MIT and then became a professor.
Wow.
So it's a little complicated. If you do well, you can go to a good grad school.
Your father and I are all professors.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're in the same field.
Oh.
There's another married couple in the math department too. Actually, two more married couples. Every female professor in math is married to a male professor in math.
Oh.
Because
Romantic math.
well, it's like, yeah, more like nerds romance. Okay. So everybody is stressed, but don't feel stress here.
Yes.
Just Just relax. It's okay.
Relax.
I don't care. I'm not giving you any tests. I hate tests. This child. How much do you sleep a night? How much do you sleep a night?
Yesterday,
Yeah.
about 5 hours.
That's not enough. You need to sleep 7 hours a night at least.
But we can't. It is impossible.
Why is it impossible?
We have to go to school until 7:55.
PM?
No. AM.
At
7.
7? Okay, go to bed at 12
12.
or 11. Go to bed 11.
11 is impossible.
Why?
We have to study.
Okay, what if you could study more efficiently?
I hope so.
Why do you study during class? What about studying during class?
I do.
Good. That's
I
what you
do,
need to
and
do.
I do get more.
Yes, you need to study during class so you save time. Time management.
We do that. So we have to more study.
Yes, and when you study, you shouldn't have your phone next to you. You need to have no distraction when you study. Okay?
Yeah.
Then you spend 2 hours, you get the benefit of 6 hours. I don't spend that much time studying, but when I am studying, I am completely focused. Okay?
Yeah.
Completely focused, and you try to understand every aspect of the problem. Ask, why do I do this? Why do I do that? See if you can recognize patterns in the type of questions they ask you, right? And then before the test, think, okay, if I'm the teacher of this class, what would I do to torture the kids? And then you know what's going to be on the test, right? This is what I do before my test, is I think, if I'm the teacher, what do I put on the test that will be the hardest? And then try to come up with what you think that they're going to put on the test, and then make sure you solve a bunch of those problems. I studied that, Because when they'll put all the trickiest stuff on the test. That's what they always do, is they'll always take the hardest thing that everybody gets wrong and put it on the test. Okay? Alright. Expect the worst. Expectation. Alright. Expectation. Alright, so how many ways can I arrange this, right? So it's x choose 2. Alright, so what's the probability that x equals 2? Probability I get 2 heads. Alright, the number of ways to arrange it is n choose 2. What's the denominator? What's the denominator? It's 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, n times
2 to the end.
2 to the n. Alright, what about p of x equals 3?
N choose 3 divided by.
Why? Let's think about it.
Oh.
Alright, I've got 3 heads.
Oh. Oh, fire. Fire berry.
Actually,
Just ignore it.
this isn't gonna just burst into flame all of a sudden, is it?
Ignore it.
Fire. Let's run away.
You wanna do what's what?
Run away.
Run away, yes. Alright, I have 3 heads. How many tails do I have?
-3.
Yes. Alright, how many ways? So each has probability 1/2, so what is my denominator?
N 2 to the end.
Alright, how many ways can I arrange 3 h's and n minus 3 t's?
N choose 3.
Yes.
N choose
N factorial divided by n minus 3 factorial times 3 factorial. N choose 3. Alright. Now, what is the probability that x equals I?
Fire.
진짜
도망가고 싶은 거 아니야?
Alright, what is the probability that x equals I? I have I heads.
Yeah.
I have I heads,
예.
and how many tails do I have?
N 마이너스
N minus I tails.
Yeah.
Okay. Right? I heads, N minus I tails.
yes.
How many ways can I arrange that?
N times N choose I.
Alright. And the reason for that is that I can arrange the n items n factorial ways, right? Now, I have I heads. How many ways have I overcounted? How many ways can I rearrange the heads? Right? So they're all the same, right? So n factorial, but since all the h's are the same, how many have I overcounted? Right?
Yeah.
And there's I of them, so it's I factorial, divided. Okay? Now, I have n minus I tails. Okay?
Yeah.
How many ways can I arrange those? How many ways have I overcounted the tails?
N 마이너스
n minus I factorial. Exactly. So, p of x equals I equals,
I N choose I
N choose I.
divide I to
alright. So, what is the expected value of x?
Times I.
Okay, so e of x equals the sum, right? What is x ranging from?
I equals
I equals 0.
N
Of?
N choose I.
P of x equals I times I, which equals the sum of I equals 1 to n of,
think I equals 0.
sorry, 0, yes, 0 to n of,
N choose I divided by 2 to the N times I.
that is the expected number of heads if I flipped a coin n times.
Already.
wow.
We did it. Already.
Okay, you did it. Alright. Now, we are going to do one more like this, but not the general form. I'm going to give you an exact number so that it's easier. So let's take n equals 5. Okay? So I flip a coin. Let's let P of H equals 1/3 and P of tails equals 2/3.
Oh.
So this coin is unfair. It's what we call a biased coin. It's going to be tails more than heads. Okay? So imagine I put the weights on the coin such that when I flip it, I've got a 2/3 chance of getting tails. Okay? Cool. Alright, so let x equal the number of heads. Tell me what e of x is. So start writing out your probabilities.
Yeah.
So, 0 less than or equal to x, less than or equal to
5
5. So e of x equals the sum
I equals 2 5 P of x
Alright. So, what is P of x equals 0? No heads.
2/3 cube.
I think you mean 2/3 to the 5th.
50, yes.
Okay. we've done here.
Huh?
There's one more thing you need to worry about. This would be the probability of getting HTTT.
times 4.
Yeah, times 4 choose 1. Okay. Why? Because, okay, so I get H with 1/3, right? T, sorry, 5 choose 1. I mean, 5 choose 1 because we have 5. These are all 2/3. 2/3. I multiply 1/3 times 2/3 to the 4th equals 2 to the 4 over 3 to the 5. But what's my problem?
Only 1.
H could go here. H could also go here. So there's 5 places for H. So I multiply by 5. 5 choose 1 is 5. I choose where H goes. Okay? Alright, what's P of, so this is equal to 2 to the 4 over 3 to the 5 times 5 choose 1. Alright, what's P of x equals 2?
One-third cube times
Yes, 1/3 squared, 2 heads, 1/3
third cubed
times.
times
Now,
choose 2.
yeah,
yes.
because now I have 2 H's, I have to pick where the 2 H's go. And what is this equal to? This is going to be equal to, well, I'm going to have a 3 to the 5th on the bottom, right?
Yes.
And a 2 cubed on top.
Yeah. 5 choose 2.
Alright. What is P of x equals 3?
1/3.
One-third cube. Times 2/3. 5 choose 3.
Squared.
Right?
Yeah.
Squared.
5 choose 3, right? I have to pick where the 3 heads go. Okay? Alright, what about P of x equals 4?
1/3. All of 4. Just 4.
And what is this equal to? This is 2 squared over 3 to the 5th. 5 choose 3. This equals 2 over to the 1 over 3 to the 5th times 5 choose 4. And the last option is P of x equals 5, which equals
1/3 times. Oh.
right?
Yes.
It's just 1/3 to the 5th, which is actually the same as 2/3 to the 0 times 5 to 0, because both of these are 1. Okay? So, what is P of x equals I for any I?
One-third power I.
Yes,
Wow.
because I have I heads.
Times
2/3.
I minus.
How many times am I flipping it? 5, right?
Yeah, 5 minus 5.
5 minus
Times
5 choose I.
5 choose I, right.
Okay.
Yeah, because n equals 5 here. Alright, so now I want you to write E of x for me in a sum. Write it in a sum, right?
Yes.
So we get E of x equals the sum I equals 0. Let's do it n times. N of p x equals I times I, which equals what? And this, to simplify, by the way, this is going to be 2 to the 5 minus I divided by 3 to the 5th, right? Everyone see that? Because this is 1 over 3 to the I, and then when you multiply, you get 1 times 2 to the 5 minus I, and then 3 to the I times 3 to the 5 minus I is 3 to the 5.
5 choose I, you to multiply.
Yeah, so, okay, so, never mind, don't worry. So, what I was saying there is, you've got something, you have like 1/3 to the I times 2/3 to the 5 minus I times 5 choose I. This equals 1 over 3 to the I times 2 to the 5 minus I divided by 3 to the 5 minus I, right?
Yes.
Times 5 choose I. But what is this? 1 time, this is just 2 to the 5 minus I divided by
3 to the 5.
3 to the 5, because I plus 5 minus I is 5, right? Now I want you to generalize for n. What's the expected value of x? That's the probability that x equals I, if n is 5. Alright, 1/3 is, so how many heads? I have I heads. So 1/3 to the I. I flip it n times. I have I heads. How many tails do I have?
N minus I.
N minus I. What's the probability of a tails?
2/3.
2/3. So 2/3 to
N minus I.
n minus I. Yes. Alright, and how many ways can I arrange this sequence of heads and tails with I heads and minus I tails? Yes, it is n choose I. And this equals the sum from I equals 0 to n of 2 to the n minus I divided by 3 to the n, right? Like what we just did here, times n choose I. That was the one I was going to give you first, and then I changed my mind and said I should do the 1/2 because that's easier.
Oh.
It's nicer to you. Okay? So a lot of times when you take an introductory probability course, you'll see a lot of this stuff. Okay? They'll give you some weighted point and they'll be like, what's the expected value? Now, if I were to ask you, so let's say that I flip heads. Alright, so very similar. Let's take the same problem here, right? I get a heads with probability 1/3. Let's say that for every heads, for every H, I get $2. No, let's make it high stakes. $2 million.
Oh my god.
Okay, and for every tails, I lose is minus 1 million. With these probabilities, should I play this game?
No.
Well, the probability of tails is lower than heads.
But.
So you have to do the math, right? So you say no, but I say you shouldn't be so sure. You have to figure out whether you should gamble for the 2 million, right? Because it's
I will not gamble.
you.
It's dangerous.
Good job, good child. Good child.
It's terrible.
Okay. Alright, well, your probability of heads is smaller, but you also get more money if you get a heads. So, what is your expected value if you play the game? That's what you want to compute.
Still the prize.
Yeah, would you, on average, if you played this game an infinite number of times, would you win? Would you win money or would you lose money? Okay? Okay, I'm gonna make you guys feel a little better. You're gonna feel, I'm gonna make this $3 million. That's like, you can buy a, penthouse in God knows where. What's like the fanciest?
성모조자.
롯데월타워.
Yeah, you can buy like a penthouse apartment there.
Oh.
Probably. Okay?
I don't want to.
For every heads you get that. So if you get like
If I lose, I will be beggar.
no, if you win, so if you get all heads, you become like Bill Gates, right? If you get okay. Alright, well let's figure out the expected value, okay? Come on guys. Don't you want the money?
Yes, I want to.
Yes, you want $3 million.
I want to
I get $3 million and buy arms and rob the bank and rob the jewelry and more get money. That is good. Okay.
This is a bad child, good child. Okay. Grab arms. Aren't guns illegal in Korea?
What?
Guns are legal in some.
Yes.
No,
illegal.
Illegal here,
But
yes.
but it can buy
gun?
Yeah.
Arms. He said to buy arms.
But it can buy 부산항 or 울산항. It can buy.
Ah. Stun gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
근데 아니야.
Okay. Okay. So, let's see. Well, for every H, I get $3 million. How many H's do I expect to get? Alright, so remember X equals number H's. Right? Number heads. R equals 3 million times X. Right? For every heads, I get what? For every heads, I get 3 million. Okay. How much money do I expect to get? What's E of R?
How many times we flip the coin?
Let's say. Okay, let's make it easy, and we'll say that.
Flip one time.
Let's do it 3 times. Okay. 3 times. Alright, so R, if we label R as the expected returns, what is R? R is 3 million times number of heads minus what?
Minus what? $1 million.
Times number of tails.
Yes.
Okay. So, let's work through it. Let's work through it.
오케이.
Alright, case 1. What's case 1?
x equals 0.
Alright, what's the probability? 3 times.
1 divided 2 to the 3, 8.
So 8 divided by 3 cubed, right? So 2 to the 3 divided by 3 to the 3. Because the tails is more common, right? I'm losing money more often. Right? Alright, and that is times minus 1 million. So how much money do I lose?
Our bank
So
bankrupt.
that's our case. That is not good. We don't like this. Bad, 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 bad. Alright, what's case 2? X equals 1.
Yes.
What do I get? What's my form? 2 squared, 2 to the n minus 1. 2 squared divided by 3 cubed, right?
Yeah.
Times. It needs to be,
minus 1 million.
so it needs to be a little bit complicated because we have to weight them. So we have 1/3 times, okay.
3 million.
So we have 4 times, 3,
Hmm?
3 on the outside, 3 choose 1, times 3 million,
2 million.
3 mil, times 1/3, right? Times,
This one is 3 choose 1 in front of.
okay, because here's the thing, okay, so we have, alright. So how much, what's the probability, okay, what's the probability that this event occurs, that x equals 1? P of x equals 1. Well, what is P of x equals 1? P of x equals 1 is 2 squared over 3 cubed times 3.
Yes. So we
Which is, and then that is times, so you get, what is your expected returns? So you get 1 times 3 mil minus
2 times.
2 times 1 mil.
Oh my god.
So that's good for you, right?
Yes.
So what is this net gain? You've got 1 3 million and you've lost 2 3 millions. I mean 2 1 millions. So you get 1 mil. Alright?
Yes.
X equals 2. Alright, what's the probability? 2
2 to the 2 times x divided.
times 3 choose 2 is 3
Yeah.
times 2 times 3 mil minus 1 times 1 mil, right? Which is 5 million. Okay, that's nice. So you get 5 million about 2 out of 9 times, right? This is 3, so this is 1 mil. 1 mil with P equals 2 squared, 4 nines. Yeah, because this 3 cancels. Okay,
Yes.
we've just simplified it.
Yeah.
Alright, and then we get 5 mil with P equals 2 nines. Is that right? first one was no good. The first one was we get minus 3 times a million is we get minus 3 mil. P equals,
그래서 y 마이너스 3.
because it's 3 minus 1 million. It's minus 1 million for each tails times the number of tails,
아.
right?
아.
So this is why we have minus 2 here, 1.
뱅크업.
Let's do it. We can do this. We can do this. So P equals 8 out of 27, right? 2 cubed over 3 cubed. What is that? 8 out of 27. Okay? Alright, what's the last one? X equals 3. Alright, we get 1 over 3 cubed. Okay? And how much do we get? 3 times 3 mil equals 9 mil. Alright, and then you add it up. Alright, so if we look at all of this out of 27, what is this divided by 27? 4 times 3 is, this is 12 divided by 27. This is 6 divided by 27. And that's 8 divided by 27. So, I get minus 3 mil times 8 out of 27 plus 12 out of 27 times 1 mil plus 6 out of 27. So this is looking good for me. Times 5 mil plus 1 out of 27 times 9 mil. Now, what is this going to be? So I get minus 24 out of 27 plus 12 times 1 is 12 out of 27 plus 30 out of 27 and then 1 times 9 plus 9 out of 27. So my expected returns are going to be, that's minus 12 plus 30 is what? What's minus 12 plus 30? Because minus 24 plus 30 is minus 6, 6, and then plus 12
This one.
is, 6 plus 12 is 20, oh my god, I'm tired. 18 plus 9 is 27 out of 27.
This one.
Million equals 1 million. So, if you play this game with the thing being tossed 3 times, you expect to win $1 million. Okay. How do you Alright, what do you expect to happen
1 million.
if you play this game a lot of times?
But if I x equals 0, I will bankrupt.
Okay,
And
yeah,
I will
but
beggar.
if you play this game, you're probably gonna make $1 million.
I want to.
Okay, well, you like that. Decide that you're a logical person. You've computed the probability of winning. And so you want to keep playing this game. But there's a catch. Now the guy says that instead of, flipping the coin 3 times, you have to do it more than 3 times. How do you think that things would change? Is it better for you or worse for you? Or the same?
Better?
Okay, well, let's think about it. So, maybe this is a little hard.
So
Alright. So now, let's do a similar one, because this where I say, now, they say that you will get, let's say that you will only do it, let's say now that you do it 4 times. Sorry, let's say you still do it 3 times, but now you only get $2 million. Okay? I want you guys to try that. Okay?
무슨 단통화 헬프.
Alright, let's see if it works. How much do you expect to get? Do you expect to win money or lose money? Alright, 0. P of 0 heads
Yeah.
equals what?
total.
1/8, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, 127. 827. Yeah. Because it's 2/3 times 2/3 times 2/3, right? Okay. Now, for each of those, you lose $1 million. So that's minus 3 mil. Okay? Alright, P of X equals 1. 1 head. What's that? We did it.
219.
2 squared over 3 times 1/3. Right? 2 2/3, 1/3 times 3. Okay? And for that one, you get a plus 2 mil minus 2 mil. Okay? Cool. Alright, P of X equals 2. We get 2/3 times 1/3 squared times 3. Okay? And what do we get here? We get plus 2 times 2 mil is 4 mil minus 1 mil equals 3 mil. Okay? Alright, what about P of X equals 3 is 1/3 cubed, which is, and then we get 3 times 2 mil is plus 6 mil. Alright, so, what is this? So we get, let's add everything up. This is 8 out of 27 times minus 3 plus 4 times 3 is 12 out of 27 times 0 plus, let's see, 6 out of 27 times 3 plus 1 out of 27 times 6. Okay. What is this equal to? This is minus 24 out of 27 plus 18 out of 27 plus 6 out of 27 equals 0. You don't expect to win anything.
Oh.
You don't expect to lose anything. That's interesting. Alright. Alright, we'll do more expectation. I know expectations be hard. But this is good because if you ever do gamble, you need to know this.
I do gamble.
I think there's an instance in one of the lectures where my dad, he was talking about my mom's mom, grandma. Like my grandma, she used to like be, I don't know, she like went to Las Vegas and was like gambling at some point and she was doing the math wrong.
Oh.
And he was like trying to explain to her that
Did she win?
no, the thing is they've rigged it so that you always lose. Don't gamble because the casino rigs it so that you never win. Okay.
Is crook?
Yeah, well, no, it's set up that way so that, like, the probability that you make money is much less than, unless you're doing poker or, blackjack and you're cheating at blackjack, then the probability that you win anything on a gambling machine is always going to be low. You're never going to have positive expected returns because they want to make money off of you.
Yes.
Okay? They don't want you to make money off of them. They need to make money. Okay?
So 그러면
If you're playing poker, it depends on the person because your skills are important, right?
짝배기?
Now, if you're playing blackjack, you could be smart like the MIT Blackjack Club and make millions of dollars by cheating using math.
Oh.
But then the casinos eventually, they figured out that these people, they were always winning, right?
Yes.
Why did they keep winning? It's because they had figured out all these like math strategies to like maximize the blackjack profit, and they were like kind of cheated, So what they would do is you'd have one person start counting and see what happens, right? And then the other person would come in, they would signal for them to come, and they would bet when the situation was very good.
Oh.
Yeah. No. That's smart students. Smart students who are getting money.
Well, I want to join them.
No, they got shut down. They got in trouble.
I want to join them. Yeah.
There's a movie and a book about it.
MIT student counting, and I see guards.
They actually did. They got like pulled away by the guards several times. They got locked up. Okay, whose money is this?
me.
오케이.
한 달만 안 나왔어? 왜 고백?